Welcome to Sundarpatan, Nepal, a one-of-a-kind hunting reserve that is both beautiful and challenging. Here, you'll find animals you can't see anywhere else and experience the thrill of the hunt like never before. There are 3 regions in Sundarpatan, each with their own distinct climate, wildlife, and rich cultures. In the middle is Pahad, with its temperate climate, characterized by the terraced rice fields and dense, colorful forests where our national flower, the rhododendron, blooms in the wild. It is here you'll spot the Tibetan fox, a clever hunter with a face you can't forget. To the south is the Terai region. This lush landscape owes itself to the heavy rains that frequent it. In the dense forests and savannas, it's easy to move unseen. But the same goes for the reserve's top predator, the Bengal tiger. It hunts its prey by stalking from behind, and that could be you. Finally, to the north is the Himal region. These might not be the tallest mountains in Nepal, but don't be fooled. The Himal is a hard place to survive. It's this hostile landscape that the snow leopard calls home. Skilled at stalking and hiding, you'll need more than just tracking skills to spot one. Sundarpatan is not for the faint of heart, but if you're up for adventure and up to the challenge, there's nowhere else like it. Welcome to Nepal. Welcome to Sundarpatan.
What's good, YouTube? Drac here, back again with another Call of the Wild centered video for you. I'm gonna be completely real with you. I forgot that there was gonna be an Expansive World stream today centered around the new Sundarpatan Nepal Hunting Reserve. So I figured, as soon as I got home today, I would hop on, watch the stream, and see what exactly I could pull from it in regards to my previous video, and see what exactly they've got in store for us. Today should be the full roster reveal for the map, and I'm curious to see which of my guesses for the previous video wind up being true. I'm also curious to see if we'll get any more details on how the map itself will function, with things like the dynamic weather, the story, and how exactly the tiger and the snow leopard are going to fit into everything. So, let's check it out. Now, the first thing that Jaxie showed us today was the dynamic weather system that's going to be on this map, and I gotta say, they've stepped it up even from Yukon Valley, because while Yukon does have the dynamic snow effect across the map, this map will, I believe, be the first one where the weather actually changes depending on what section of the map you're in. And just like I said in the previous video, these biomes are absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to get down there and start exploring through this new area. Now, the first animal that they went over today is honestly the only one that I'm kind of disappointed in. Now, I said in my previous video that I was convinced that the goose that we were teased in the original teaser trailer was going to be the bar-headed goose. It turns out that that goose is actually going to be one of the 3 returning species alongside the blackbuck and water buffalo, and that it is going to be the greylag goose. Now, while that is a little bit disappointing that it's not a new waterfowl, I do understand that it's easier enough to bring in an already existing one, and who knows, maybe we will get the bar-headed goose added at some point down the line. But speaking of the water buffalo and blackbuck, they both look superb with their new updates that they've gotten. With both of them being brought up to the game's modern graphical standard, they just look so much better than they did previously, and I cannot wait to get in there and get a good look at them for myself. And hopefully the axis deer, sambar deer, hog deer, wild boar, or at least one of those might get backfilled into the reserve at some point in the future. Jaxie did mention later on in the video that they do still have plans for backfilling going forward. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because more things to hunt on each map is always a good thing to me. Next up, we got the confirmation for what that mysterious missing animal on the list was, since the Greylag Goose took the spot of the third returning animal, and it is going to be the woolly hare. Another animal that I'm personally not too excited about, but I know that there are plenty of small game hunters out there in this game, and every map needs its class 1 small game animal that's not a bird. So, welcome to the game, woolly hare. Then we got the muntjac, the sneaky little guy that tipped us off in the first place that it was going to be an Asia reserve. They look absolutely fantastic, and we've known that about them since the first teaser trailer for the map dropped. I honestly don't have too much to say about them that I didn't already say before. They look good, and I'm glad to have another tier 2 tusked deer to hunt on some of these maps. Maybe they'll get backfilled into another map in the future. I mean, just look at them. The detail work on these guys is fantastic. I cannot wait for what the future will bring for other animal revamps down the line. And then we got him, as Jaxie called him himself, the meme master, the animal with the second most perpetually displeased face I've ever seen, next to the palace's cat, the Tibetan fox. What can you even say about him? Just look at that face. He does not want to be here. He knows where he's at. I cannot wait to see how some of the other people in the community react to this absolutely bizarre looking animal. It's definitely going to be a treat. Next up, the wild yak, and holy crap do they look good, guys. The EW team have really upped their game with the fur textures as of late, and I cannot wait to see what they can do with some of the other creatures that desperately need a rework. Jaxie even gave us a hint that the lions might be getting a revamp sometime down the line, and if they can use shaders like this on the lions, they're gonna look out of this world. As for the yaks themselves, just chef's kiss. They look perfect. And I'm definitely interested in seeing what the fur variations and what the bigger specimens are going to look like. Jaxie gave us a tease at an albino yak, but I'm wondering if there's going to be more to them than just the straight black and the straight white. We'll just have to wait and see when the reserve drops. We also got our first clear look at the blue sheep, and yeah, they look basically perfect to me. The patterns, the horns, there's not much that I can say beyond that's a blue sheep. I can't wait to see what some of the bigger specimens look like, because we did wind up rolling on kind of a small one that Jaxie spawned in, but I'm definitely looking forward to tracking these guys through the Himal region up in the mountains. I've always thought that they were a really neat looking sheep, so I'm excited that they're finally here in the game, or at least will be, come June 18th. We also got a much closer look at the Barasinga, or swamp deer. I just had to take a moment, because Jaxie was talking about how large and impressive their antlers are, and then the first one that he spawns in is just this tiny little thing. He did roll a better one on the next spawn, but still, it did make me chuckle. And yeah, he's not wrong. That is one impressive looking deer. And I am definitely looking forward to getting down on the map and tracking down a larger specimen for my own trophy lodge in the game. Then we finally got an up-close look at the nilgai outside of that one still image from the Steam page. And I said it in my last video, I am still so stoked that these guys made it into the game. They're just such a behemoth of an antelope. You almost wouldn't think that they are an antelope looking at them. You'd think that they're like some kind of skinny wild cattle. But at the end of the day, antelopes are bovines just like cows, so I guess that's not too far off the money. It didn't seem like we got any particularly large specimens to look at when Jaxie spawned them in today, so another species that I'm gonna have to add to my must hunt as soon as the reserve drops in a couple of weeks. I really want to see what a diamond nilgai looks like. After the nilgai, we got to focus in on the Himalayan tar, and before I say anything, I just want to take back all of my comments about the models looking wonky in the previous video. This model that Jaxie showed off today looks superb. I don't know if it's just like fur variations that they'll have, or if it was like the quality of the image that I found for the great one, but the tar, yeah, that's a tar. They look awesome. And Jaxie did say that while they won't be getting backfilled onto Te Awaroa with this release, it is definitely something that they want to do. So there was the confirmation that they still plan on doing backfilling for older maps going forward. And I cannot wait for the tar to join all the other species that are on Te Awaroa and to potentially try to grind for this great one on more than one map. It'll be interesting to say the least, and again, just god dang the fur textures that they've managed to put on these things. 10 out of 10, EW. 10 out of 10. Now, unfortunately, Jaxie did say that they won't actually be looking at the Great One tar today, and that they're going to focus on that next week instead. So if you want me to come back next week and give my takes on that, leave a like and a comment below, and I will get right on it as soon as next week's stream drops. Second to last for animal reveals today, we got the Bengal tiger, the headliner of the new reserve, and holy crap, they outdid themselves with the modeling on this one. Even the basic fur pattern is absolutely gorgeous, to say nothing of the myriad of rares that are coming alongside it. Even Jaxie himself couldn't hold back his excitement when rolling up those rares to show us today, and I can't blame him. They're just cool. We also got a bit more explanation on how the tiger's stalking and ambush mechanics will work. Apparently, there will only be 16 tigers on the map at any one given time, each one patrolling its own home range, and if I'm gathering this correctly, they will passively have a knowledge of where you are if you are in their home range. And once they've locked in on your location, they will stalk and pursue you, and eventually wind up ambushing you, using threat calls to throw you off and alert you to their presence. But these calls will function differently from the other animal calls in the game in that they cannot be directionally tracked. That is going to be terrifying when you're down in the lowlands trying to track something else and then you hear that growl from the bushes. I'm looking forward to it, but I do also see how it could potentially get annoying to some people if they're potentially doing a diamond or great one grind just to get surprise ambushed by a tiger. But at the end of the day, I really do like this new mechanic, and I do hope that they go back and at least add some variation of it to other predators that we've already got in the game. Say, potentially doing something similar with the male lions on Virunga Savannah, and having them patrol home ranges and pursue any hunters that come within that range. It would definitely mean that all hunters would have to be on high alert whenever they're in the territory of one of these big cats. And if nothing else, these impressive animals deserve that kind of respect. I've also gotta say, now that we've seen the melanistic tiger, when the lions get their update, we need a melanistic lion added to the game. Also, multi-mount idea. Lions, tigers, and bears. Come on, EW, make it happen. We at the very least need to get a multi-mount with the lion and the tiger on it. Come on, you know that we need it, EW. The last animal that we gotta look at today is the snow leopard, and I was actually incredibly surprised by what Jaxie had to say about them. One, he did confirm that both the tiger and the snow leopard will be integral to Sundarpatan's story in single-player mode, so I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I always get invested in the stories on these reserves, so I'm definitely excited to see what Sundarpatan is going to bring to the table on that. But Jaxie also said that the snow leopards are going to be even rarer than the tigers on the map. And to remind you, there's only going to be 16 tigers at any given time on this map. So that's got me thinking that maybe there will be 10, maybe fewer snow leopards? The tigers and the snow leopards are definitely going to be species that people are going to have their work cut out for them trying to get those rare skins on. And the fact that you won't be able to just camp at a watering hole and grind for them, I know that some people might get a little upset by that, but as somebody who spends most of my hunting time in this game just exploring the reserve and tracking whatever I stumble upon, this might actually be a standout animal for me to add to my lodge if I'm lucky enough to stumble upon one. And I know I've already said it before, but the modeling and texture work is just superb. And that is all for the animal reveals that we got today. And I gotta say, pretty much all of my doubts that I voiced in my previous video have been washed away, just like I was hoping they would be. While I am still a little disappointed that the bar-headed goose was passed over and that a handful of other potential returning animals won't be here, there's nothing that says that they can't be retroactively added down the line. Especially now that EW has said that they will definitely be doing more backfilling in the future. It's just more things to look forward to in the game's lifespan. And I've heard from other content creators about the game that they have confirmed that this game still has years worth of content coming down the pipeline, and that has me so happy. So to wrap things off, I think that I'll leave you with Jaxie ringing the dinner bell for the tigers. Until next time, everybody, rock on.
I want to do a countdown. Let it happen. Let it happen. Here we go. Here we go. Are we ready for this? Yeah. Here, let me pull this chat over because I broke the other one. There we're gonna go. All right. I should have a sporting chance here. Okay. Here we go. I'll see you all next week. I'll catch you all around the community. Oh my goodness. 3, 2, 1. No, no, no! No!